wanted to use this comment as an example because I do take clients who have gone to other artists, and as long as their work is extremely faded and I'm able to work over them, one of the questions that I like to ask is there anything that you absolutely loved about the previous work, and is there anything you hated about your previous work or the experience? And I just had a client yesterday who came to me from another artist, and so one thing that she mentioned was that it was extremely uncomfortable. And so I was like, okay, well, talk me through your last process. What happened? And it turns out they didn't pre-numb her. And so I told her, okay, well, today I'm going to be pre-numbing you before I even do the mapping, and then I'll numb you again. And so I was like, I'm hoping that you will be way more comfortable. And it was a way of me like overcoming that bad taste in her mouth from her prior experience. I've also had the experience where I've asked a client, is there a reason why you didn't go back to your previous artist? Is there anything that I can do better for you? And it's really important that you phrase it that way because we're not looking to bash another artist. We just want to know how we can do better for that client. So the way I phrase my questions is very intentional. Put a lot of thought behind that because what you don't want is it to turn into this like negative conversation. It's just, what did you have? How can we do better? How can we move forward? How can I do better for you? But I did have a client who came in and she was like, well, I had my eyebrows microbladed, and she had oilier skin, and she's like, and I've had them microbladed twice with the same person and they've only lasted a year. And so we know that microblading can last anywhere from 1 to 3 years, and in almost all cases, we want them to fade away completely in that 1 to 3 years. We want them to come back and we want it to be a blank slate. If anything, most of my clients are having like a little bit of pigment there where I can still follow the old shape. But that's ideal. And so I had to explain to her, the pigments that we use, our bodies are going to metabolize them over time. You do have oilier skin, so that's likely why it's not lasting as long. And I explained that that was what we wanted. And I was like, I don't think your other artist is doing anything wrong. In fact, I think she had your best interest at heart. And so I explained why we wanted it to fade that way. And the reason is because we don't want it to shift in color. The longer it stays in your skin, the more likely with UV exposure and retinol and all the skin products that we use now, it's going to shift. And so we want it to fade away completely. And so I explained that to her, and I was like, I want to level set expectations, because if I do your brows today and it lasts anywhere from 1 to 3 years, I don't want you to feel like you got gypped. And so we did end up switching her to nano brows, and I think she'll maybe get like a year and 6 months. It's not going to be longer than the 1 to 3 years. It's just going to last longer on some skin types than microblading. And so it's worth the investment if you think of